Hello viewers, I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal, stand before you with the topic 3 generations of rights. And this 3 generations of right is observed in the DSC-1 of 5th semester, and it is also found in the 2nd semester of the degree level. So I request +3 2nd semester students as well as +3 5th semester students to make best use of this video relating to 3 generations of rights. So far as 3 generations of rights is concerned, we will discuss mainly 2 aspects of it. One is the meaning of 3 generations of rights. Number 2, views of 3 generations on rights. So in this video we will discuss first of all meaning of 3 generations of rights. Number 2, views of 3 generations on rights. And before I start the meaning of 3 generations of rights, I request my viewers to make best use of my videos in 2 ways. If you will watch this whiteboard, you can write down your notes, and if you simply listen to me, also you can write down your notes. And again I want to inform my viewers that please intimate your friends, those who are in +2 first year and +2 second year and +3 first semester to 5th semester, to subscribe my channel, so at least some students will be benefited. Let us start. What is 3 generations of rights? According to Professor Stevenson, human rights are the core of everything we do and try to do. According to Professor Stevenson, human rights are the core of everything we do and try to do. It means human rights are very much essential today. It is the central concept today. And these human rights are so much important today that if human rights of any part of the world will be in problem, human beings of all corners of the world raise their eyebrows for its protection, preservation and promotion. So human rights are very much important today. Human rights mean those rights which are very much essential for human beings. If these rights will not be given to people, then people cannot lead the life of human beings. So human rights means those rights which are very much essential for human beings. If these rights will be denied to human beings cannot lead the life of a human beings. So those rights which are necessary for human beings to lead a life of human beings, these are known as human rights. And 3 generations of rights means as the world is changing, ideas of people are also changing. So what ideas they have about rights, these ideas of people about rights are also changing. So 3 generations of rights means in the 17th to 18th century, people had a different type of ideas on rights. It is known as the first generation of views about human rights. In the first half of in the early part of 20th century, people had different type of ideas on human rights. It is known as the second generation of human rights. And after 1970, people had different type of views about human rights. It is known as the third generation of human rights. So, as the world is changing, ideas of people about rights have also been changed. So, in the 17th and 18th century, people gave importance, people emphasized to civil and political rights. In the 17th and 18th century, people gave priority to civil and political rights. It is known as the first generation of human rights. In the early part of 20th century, people gave priority to social, cultural and economic rights in place of civil and political rights. It is known as the second generation of human rights. In the after 1970, people delivered importance to rights of some special groups. After 1970, people did not give much importance to civil and political rights or social, economic and cultural rights. Rather, after 1970, they felt the necessity of rights for some specific groups like women, children, minority, indigenous people, migrants. This is known as the third generation of rights. So, three generation of rights means in 17th and 18th century, people have different type of ideas on rights. They gave priority to civil and political rights. In the early part of 20th century, they gave priority to social, economic and cultural rights. It is second generation rights. And after 1970, they gave priority to rights of some specific persons like women, children, migrants, asylum seekers, indigenous people, etc. This is known as the third generation rights. So we are clear what is three generation rights. Now we'll discuss what is the first generation of human rights. What are the views of people of 17th and 18th century about rights? In the 17th and 18th century, the need of civil and political rights was realized. In 17th and 18th century, the need of civil and political rights was realized. Civil rights, for example, right to life, right to property, right to freedom, etc. Political rights means right to vote, right to contest the election, right to hold public office, etc. So in the 17th and 18th century, people gave priority to civil and political rights. But they were not interested to give absolute rights, absolute civil and political rights to people. Rather, they wanted to put some restrictions on these rights. It is known as the limitation rights. So, restriction on these rights, people feel that these rights must not be absolute. Rather, restriction can be imposed on these rights in the interest of morality, social interest and emergency state. No doubt in the 17th and 18th century, people realized the importance of civil and political rights. But they were not in favor of absolute civil and political rights. They felt that restriction can be imposed on these rights in the interest of morality, social welfare and emergency in any state. So this is all about the first generation right. Now we'll discuss second generation of human rights. In the early part of 20th century, due to influence of socialistic movements, people realize the need of social, cultural and economic rights. Social rights, examples of social rights are right to equality. Examples of social rights are right to equality, right to equal treatment, right against torture, right to work. Social rights means, examples of social rights are right to equality, right to equal treatment, right against torture. Economic rights include right to work, minimum wage, good working condition, etc. Cultural rights means right to preserve culture, right to carry cultural activities, etc. So, in the early part of 20th century, people realized the need of social, cultural and economic rights. But they were not interested to make these rights absolute. Rather, they realized that restriction can be imposed on these rights in the interest of general welfare, morality. Now discuss third generation of human rights. After 1970, people realized that there are some groups in the society, there are some specific groups in the society, there are some specific groups in the society who need special attention. Only special attention will be given to some groups. Then justice cannot prevail in the society. So they wanted to give some special rights to some special people. After 1970, it is known as the third generation of rights. So, which groups are entitled for special treatment? Rights for women, right to vote. People felt that women should be given special attention. They should be given some special rights so that there will be justice for all the people of society. So women should be given right to vote, right of equal wages, equality with males, right to job in defense, right to contest in election and hold public office at par with male members. So women should be given some special rights. Then some special right to children, like right to play, right to recreation, right against sexual abuse, right against exploitation, right to separate from parents. So these children should be given some special rights. Then right for minorities. Some people in society, they are minority number, they must be given some rights, like right to equal treatment, right to preserve their culture, right to enjoy different benefits as is enjoyed by majority people, right to religious practices, right to enjoy social benefits as is enjoyed by majority groups. So these rights must be given to minority people. Then right for refugees, migrants, asylum seekers, internally displaced persons. Here, refugees means those people who have come from other areas for their security. Migrant means those workers who have come from other areas to work. Asylum seeker means those persons who have left their country out of fear and they want to settle in another country. They are known as political asylum seekers. Then internally displaced persons. Internally displaced person means whenever a project will be made, the people will have to be displaced. They are known as internally displaced persons. So these people must be given some special rights, like right to equal treatment, right to form association, right to observe cultural activities, right to equal movement, right to recreation, etc. These people must be also given some special rights. Finally, right for indigenous people. Indigenous people means, for example, some people are residing in a particular area. Indigenous people means original people. For example, some people are staying in a particular area. If migrant people will come there and the migrants will dominate, then local people will be in problem. So the local people will also be given some rights, like right to representation, right to celebrate their culture, right to form association, right to express their feelings, right to equal treatment. So in this video we have discussed what is the meaning of 3 generations of rights. 3 generations of rights means how ideas of people about rights are changing from time to time. In 17th and 18th century, people have different type of ideas about right. In the early part of 20th century, they had different type of ideas about rights. After 1970, they wanted to give special rights to some specific groups. So, 3 generations of rights means ideas of people about rights have changed. This is known as the 3 generations of rights. Then we have discussed what were the ideas of people about rights in the 17th and 18th century. It is the 1st generation right. What was the idea of people about rights in the early part of 20th century? It is 2nd generation rights. And what was the idea of people about rights after 1970? It is 3rd generation rights. I request +3 5th semester and +3 2nd semester students to make best use of this video. Thank you. Goodbye to all.